welcome to Season 2. I'm Jen Stanley, host of the Living Well Enneagram Podcast, and we are kicking things off in Season 2 by looking back at the first year of podcasting. We're calling this month's series, That's a Wrap, and the goal here is to take a look back at everything that we learned in Season 1. We have welcomed so many new listeners, new subscribers to the channel, and it has been just such a pleasure, a joy, an honor, and honestly a lot of work to do Season 1. We released 114 episodes, and we thought, what better way to kick off Season 2 than to take a look back and share with you a little bit behind the scenes, but how it all came together and some of our favorite moments from Season 1. Today, I am welcoming one of my teammates that makes this podcast possible. Merran, welcome. And I actually can say welcome back because you've been on the podcast before.
True. That is true.
Yeah. So this is Merran. And Merran, would you just introduce yourself to everybody, share your Enneagram number, and your role on the team that makes this podcast possible?
I'm Merran Tatum. I am an Enneagram 6, and I'm the behind-the-scenes girl. I'm just making sure that everything looks good, that the viewers can listen and watch each podcast episode, posting to Spotify, Apple, socials, editing the captions, and making sure all the links are working.
Yeah, so anytime one of our listeners wants to get one of the freebies that's, being offered during the podcast, Merran is making sure that everything is operational and that it's a really, really smooth user experience. So thank you, Merran, first of all. We're going to talk about quarter 2. So this is April, May, and June. Starting in April, so I chose the topic of crushing your health goals in April. And this to me was important because I came from the world of health coaching. Over the course of 5 years, that was my primary role, during COVID, and I was really helping people go to the next level with their health. And I use that phrase really specifically because health is so much more than about weight loss. Right. And so in my health coaching practice, and also just for this series, I wanted it to not be only how to lose so many pounds in so many days. I know that that's what gets clicks out there, but that's not really what I wanted to present. So Crushing Your Health Goals was a series where I really wanted to lean into how the Enneagram could help a person know what strengths they have going into a health goal and what also could be holding them back. In my own personal health journey, I found the Enneagram to be a huge, huge help to me as I'm trying to, live with longevity and health in my midlife here. So that's kind of why I wanted to do the series called Crushing Your Health Goals. And I just wonder, did anything stand out to you? Because you're a different number than I am and have, a different perspective.
Well, true confessions. I work with each and every podcast episode, every reel, every short of yours, of the podcast, every day. And I could not bring myself to listen to the episode for me, the Enneagram 6, not because I didn't, I didn't think it would be good, but because I knew it would be good. Oh. And I couldn't face it. I wasn't in a place with my health in my health journey to be able to confront it, or I guess have someone else confront me with it. I knew that I needed to do some things. And my attitude and my fear, honestly, my Enneagram 6 fear was keeping me from doing something about it. And so I just didn't listen. I paused and, when the episode would start, and I did all the work that needed to be done to post it, and I posted the caption and the links, but I just couldn't listen. So once I did start doing something about my health, I was like, okay, now I can listen to Jen. And sure enough, you absolutely nailed everything that was keeping me from taking care of myself and helped me to hopefully keep this journey going.
Aw, I'm really glad to hear that. And I think you bring up a good point that when it comes to health goals, it's very personal, it's very vulnerable, and there are seasons when we're like ready to take in more about it, and then there's seasons when we're like, I can't. And so I love that this is one of the reasons why I have a podcast in the first place, is that I want the content to live and be available to people when they're ready.
Right.
And so perfect. I actually really love that. Yeah, I actually really love that story.
I wouldn't listen to you.
Yeah, well, because maybe somebody wasn't ready then, or maybe they're a new listener now and they want to go back. So, but I will ask you this. Yeah. Did you feel loved in the episode or was it like, was there any sense of condemnation or anything that you were maybe afraid of?
No, you always bring such joy and grace and energy too to everything that you do. And I knew, and because I know you and I know your work, I knew it would be absolutely spot on. And that's why I couldn't listen to it. Sometimes it's just hard to look in a mirror, and I have found that the Enneagram is that. It helps me so much, all of us, I think, understand the why of why we behave the way that we do. But in doing so, it calls out, some of our behaviors, and really do the work to look inwardly and say, okay, I know I'm scared. This is why, and this is what is keeping me from moving forward. Because then if I knew what was keeping me from moving forward, then it would be like, okay, are you going to deal with it? Or are you going to avoid it?
Absolutely.
And I was too busy avoiding. I
you didn't want to have to actually face the thing. I so understand that. That is so real for all of us. And I love what you said about the Enneagram being a mirror. Mm-hmm. And sometimes once you see it, you do have to decide what to do with it. Right. And I think that is so brilliant. So what's been the most helpful thing that you picked up?
I think, you always say this to us sixes, learning to trust ourselves, because the fear of the Enneagram 6 is that's my constant inner voice. And so just the reminder to, I can hear that the fears, all of the what ifs, but I can trust myself, and I can trust those around me, those that love me and know me, to help me move forward and to deal with the punches, deal with the failures, and get up and move on.
So if you're listening to this now and you're at a place with a health goal, maybe you've started moving towards a health goal, maybe you're avoiding a health goal, or maybe you just want to know how to go to the next level in your self-awareness around your health, I want to encourage you to listen to the intro episode and to your number. It's just packed with good, thoughtful, helpful, strategic advice. So at least listen to the intro and to your own Enneagram number. But I would encourage you, again, as always, to listen through the whole series, because you're going to pick something up from all of the numbers. Well, next we want to talk about the May series, which was Raising Up the Next Generation. And this series came again from my own experience of utilizing the Enneagram as I am raising kids. And, honestly, we have grandparents in our circle that do a lot with our kids as well. And so rather than focusing it just on the mom-child relationship, I really wanted to acknowledge the fact that there are so many people out there impacting the next generation: teachers, foster parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, friends. It's so big. And again, the Enneagram has been incredibly helpful to me as a tool for how I interact with my own kids and with my nieces and nephews. And so for this one, it was so much fun. we actually brought in interviews of other women who are raising up the next generation. Merran made their podcast debut on Raising Up the Next Generation for the episode specifically for Enneagram 6s. And so as you worked with the series, what was meaningful to you?
Well, it was great to hear from other moms, other people raising children, just to realize that I'm not alone and we're not alone. We share so many of the same struggles and challenges and victories, no matter our numbers. And I could see myself in everyone.
Yes. And this one, I think especially, it would be really good for somebody to listen to their number, but also to listen to the number they go to in stress.
Exactly. That's what I did. Went to my number in health and my number in stress just to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this is a really good series for that really going to your other numbers and being able to look at how that's impacting what's going on, based on where you are. Yeah, that's really good. Well, one of my favorite things that we did in the Raising Up the Next Generation series is we created a PDF, and it was just a single page, and it had like words of wisdom from each Enneagram number. And I kept that on my refrigerator all summer long. And I looked at my number a lot. But I also, again, I also felt the not alone thing. And honestly, all 9 little words of wisdom were very helpful. And so I think I just took it down off the refrigerator,
for Christmas.
Yeah, it fell into jelly or something and it got gross. But it was really a cool freebie that we offered in that series. So if you have influence on kids and you want to understand how the Enneagram is, again, a wonderful tool to help you in that season, then you should definitely go to the series that was in May of 2025, Raising Up the Next Generation, and even grab that free PDF that Merran put in all of the show notes in all of the things. So thanks to Merran, you can click on your PDF if you would like to have one. So the final month of quarter 2 was June, and in June, we decided to change the format just a little bit. We only did 4 episodes that month because I really wanted to talk about the Enneagram subtypes. Now, subtypes are the influencers on every number, and it is the reason why I could be an Enneagram 3 and you could be an Enneagram 3, but we could be very different from each other. Exactly. And all that means is we still have the same motivations, same shadows, same things that are tripping us up, but our instinct, our subtype could be different. And so once someone has identified their number, the next most telling thing they can do is identify their subtype. And so just 4 episodes in this particular series, but very, very important episodes. And I don't know, Merran, I would say that if somebody's been listening to this podcast for any amount of time, whether it's you've listened once or for the entire time we've been on the air, I would want you to go back and really listen to all 4 episodes of June, because they are very, very important episodes when you are wanting to understand more about your Enneagram type. So I want to hear from you. What was helpful to you in the subtypes?
Well, listening to all of them was so helpful just to better understand my number. I vividly remember learning about a friend of mine that he was also an Enneagram 6, and I did not have a great reaction. I was like, what? There's no way, because he's so different than me, And I'm sure it's because our subtypes were different. But it just really helped me to understand myself as a self-preservation 6, and to understand that it innately who I am. It's innately my natural instinct that makes me that, and it's not. I always kind of knew that I was a self-preservation kind of girl, but I thought it was more the result of life experiences, and I'm sure that plays into it somewhat, but it just gave me a fuller picture of myself and my number, and then helped me understand others, not just other sixes, but other friends and family.
Yeah, some people, teachers, would even say that when it comes to like an interpersonal relationship, like especially with a partner or spouse, that knowing the subtype is as important as knowing the type. Because if you're a social subtype and I'm a self-preservation subtype, you're going to want to hunker down at home and spend like just quality time and have time by yourself. And I'm going to be like, let's go party every single night of the week, you know? Yeah. And those can cause real tension. So I think it's been very eye-opening for me to get really deep into the subtypes. Mm-hmm. So even if you only understand someone's instinct, like it can make a huge impact.
Yeah.
So again, I can't recommend enough that you go and learn about your subtype, whether you are a self-preservation subtype, a one-to-one subtype, or a social subtype. They make a big impact on your number and the way that you interact with the world and with the people in your world. So go back to that June series and really take a listen there. It's going to very much deepen your understanding of yourself. So that's a wrap on quarter 2. We talked about crushing our health goals, raising up the next generation, and the Enneagram subtypes. I want to say before we go, Merran, thank you so much for being on this team. I could not do this podcast without this team of incredible women that are behind the scenes making it all happen. So thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Well, just thank you to you, because I feel like I get a free Enneagram wisdom all the time working with you, and it has helped me so much. And I've loved that it's just been part of my work this year, that I get to enjoy this every day. So thank you
so much. That's awesome. So next week, we're going to recap quarter 3. So don't forget to subscribe and follow along to the podcast so you don't miss a thing.